one of which escaped into public acclaim. It was towards the end of this period that he wrote those words of indecision in his diary. The next year he sat in a church and was converted by a vivid splash of red. He vowed after the experience that he would henceforth paint only the Madonna. There must have been several entreaties and pleas from tourists and friends, but the Noon evidently stuck to his guns because only his Madonnas are to be found in Goa today. It was also in the same church in Old Goa, the abode of the Lady of the Tender Rose, that he saw a face he couldn't forget. He waited for the girl the next Sunday and the next. He felt she was a gift to him from the Madonna. He discovered that she lived in Benolin, only a couple of kilometers away. He later wrote, quoting his own words, "I have wasted my time looking for paradise in the wrong places." And within that month he fell insanely in love with Maria Esther Ribello, and she with him. The music of the waves was as grand as the night's silence. The beach was deserted, mourning a moonless sky. After what seemed like hours, I turned and walked back. It was then that I noticed them. A sudden milky light from nowhere, like the glare of an enormous torch, caught them in its charmed circle. Everything else receded. They were slumped against the boat, their passion raw and explicit. Her head rested on his lap. His hand was on her white and swollen breast. It looked pale and horrible. The other hand had pushed the skirt up her thighs. I couldn't make out their fingers screaming grimace. It was strange. I could see everything, and yet nothing. I saw them as part of nature, as flowing and ceaseless as wind and sea and sand, and yet they remained apart in a world of their own beneath the abandoned boat. A thick moan rose high. My heart missed a beat. Was it a delusion? They were too far from the ocean and I was too near. It was the moan of a jealous sea. I walked forward in a hurry to get away. Her body twitched a convulsive movement away from his hand. The moan came again. In the misty blue light, deliberately, like a statue come alive, she raised her head and looked at me. I stared back, frozen, and my lips of their own accord formed the word, Maria. I didn't know where it came from and how it reached me, but the name filled my head until I felt I would go mad. I stood mesmerized by the woman's eyes.